Hello, and welcome to part 1 of the MakerTour series, where I show off the library's cool maker gear and go over different ways you can have access to this stuff both inside and outside the library. Today, we're talking 3D printing. I'm going to design a simple object and print it out for you to show you how the 3D printing process works. First, let's take a look at our 3D printer. This is the MakerGear M2. One thing to note about this printer is that it has only one spool of filament here. That means that we can only print in one color. Some machines out there can print in multiple spools, but ours is only one, so do keep that in mind when you're designing stuff. I've got orange loaded up here because I thought that'd be a fun color to try out. I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing on so it can start warming up. All right, let's jump right into designing. Now, if you're going to try this out for yourself, please review our 3D printing guidelines here first so that you know what we can't print here in the library Makerspace. Okay, so I'm using Tinkercad. It's a free, simple, browser-based design tool, and I recommend it for all beginners. I'm not going to get into the finer details on how this thing works because Tinkercad does a great job of doing that by itself through its helpful tutorial activities, which can be found here. Also, it's free. I like free. Free is good. Free. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so here's your basic work plane on Tinkercad. I'm just going to go through the basic shapes they've got here. And I like stars, so I think I will pick out their star shape. It's just click and drag, drop it down right in the center there. Okay, so you can, whoops, I like inches. Let me change that real quick. Okay, now I can visualize that better. You can fine-tune your sizing by just typing it in right here. I think that's pretty simple enough. Okay, 1-inch star. Now, I want to make this design a little more interesting, so I'm going to make a star cutout inside of my star. Starception, right? Okay, and this is how you cut holes into things. You turn an object into the hole texture there and group them together. And make sure this is all lined up. Okay. So you have to select everything you want grouped. And then you click this button here. And bam! Look at that! It's got a hole in it. Make it a little smaller there. Okay. It looks pretty good. Simple. It will print out just fine. Lovely little star. Okay. Now, what do we do? How do we get this to print? So you're going to export your object as an STL or an OBJ file. That's fine. And now we print. But wait, the 3D printer can't read STL files. It can only read NG code. What do? We slice it. We're going to open up our STL file into a slicer, which is a program that will read our design and convert it into a file that the 3D printer can actually understand, aka G-code. All right, so we're going to import our STL file into this slicer program. Okay, there it is. And now we're going to click Export G-code. And I'm gonna save it. You can rename it now, but I think Surprising Wasa is a pretty cool name. So let's do it. Okay, now we can print. The computer communicates to the printer through this program called Pronterface, and from here we can see that the printer is all warmed up, ready to go. Quick temperature check right there. Okay, so we're ready to load our G-code file. All right, it's only going to take 3 minutes 42 seconds to print, estimated, so that ain't too bad. The printer takes the filament, melts it, and then the nozzle spits it out based on our design. It works from the bottom up, layer by layer. You can imagine some larger designs can take forever to print. It can also have a hard time with any designs that have an overhang. It's always important to keep an eye on the printer because sometimes, maybe halfway through the print job, it will decide to mess up and completely jam in on itself and make a huge mess. That's not fun. And if you keep a watchful eye on it, as best as you can anyway, you can generally stop the printer before it causes too much destruction. All right, look at that, we've come a long way. So here's our star, hot off the print bed, and here's the finished product, all trimmed up. Sweet! All right, thanks for tuning in. If you're interested in 3D printing right now, please check the description for links to the library's resources and other websites that you might find interesting. And then you too can get designing today. Until next time.